Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Here we go. Another episode. This is quick. I always keep it real quick. If you haven't heard, it's on the blog, it's on every social media. The great great granddaughter of Mirza Ahmad is apparently involved in a sexual raping ring that involves the Mirza family, some high ranking workers at the Palace of Hilafat in Tilford. They've been having their way with this woman. Very strange and very odd. Why would they treat the great great granddaughter of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad in this way? It makes no sense to me. She's also the granddaughter of Mirza Tahir Ahmad and Mirza Nasser Ahmad. She's a double granddaughter. So she's deep in the family. Um, so the report broke yesterday around 7 p.m. I think 4, 5, 6 p.m. and it was passed around in a WhatsApp group, and then it was 45 minutes. I listened to it, couldn't believe my ears, honestly. Um, it was Mirza Masroor Ahmad being secretly recorded by Neda or whatever, however you want to pronounce her name, whatever the case might be. Um, and she is a super granddaughter of the Mirza family. And they were passing her around like it was chocolate. They were raping her since she was born. They were raping her. She's 36 years old now, and they were passing her around. And my brother, Dr. Holy Spirit, is here. So, Dr. Saab, how's it going? Yeah, no worries.
Assalamu alaikum. I have just turned on the. How are you, Shaji?
Doing good, doing good. Praying for justice.
Yes. So, what do you think of that recording? Is it genuine?
Seems authentic to me. I don't know how she might have got her hands on recording equipment. I think she was living there at the Palace of Hilafat in Tilford, and they do have a huge residential block that shouldn't be
Yes.
tax free. In the United States, if they have a temple and there's housing there, they have to pay property tax because there's housing. So I'm not sure how. I'm sure it's similar in the UK. Um, and we got another guy. I don't know who this is. Boz Ahmed. Let's just bring him on and see if he's going to talk to us. Maybe he's got some information. Boz Ahmed, are you there? Okay. So no. Oh yeah. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Assalamualaikum.
How's it going, brother?
Alhamdulillah.
So I'm just reporting on what's going on. I from what I heard from some of the ex-Amity women, this case has been registered in Tilford, in Surrey, and hopefully we'll get some traction out of this. But why are they raping the great great granddaughter of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad? I have no idea. I'm baffled. Somebody help me here, brother Ali. What is going on here? Who can explain?
Well, Assalamu alaikum, Shah Sab, and everybody who is in the panel. I see Dr. Saab here and Baz Ahmed. So, um, so the question is why they are raping it, right? Well, it seems like that ritual been going on since Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's time. So when we study his books and the writings, we come across many different, events where women were present in his room or wherever he was living. They've been guarding him overnight. They've been spending, time with him. So that is not new. The language he used in his literature, that is also very questionable. So any pious person, righteous person, doesn't use such language. That is way below the standard of any holy person or any decent person. So you can't expect a person who is trying to be or claiming to be a prophet using such a filthy language. And those events, when we study we come across to conclusion, yeah, there been something fishy going on, and there are so many stories associated with all their Khalifas. They've been involved with many different activities, particularly sexual activities. So this is not new. And I believe after listening the audio of our sister Neda, seems like Masroor is fully aware what been going on. If she claims that she been abused when she was 1 year old child, it means at that time Mirza Tahir was alive.
Yeah.
So if we go back 35 years, that's the time Mirza Tahir came into UK with his daughters, and all of his daughters got married here in the UK, right? And those children born here, brought up here, they got an education in the UK. So he was fully aware what was going on. Why he didn't take action? Why those children didn't make a phone call to police and report it to the local police station? So why they were keeping a lid on it? So it seems like a very controlled cult, and they might be doing some kind of rituals. I don't know. I'm just assuming that is a part of some secret kind of worship they do within their own circle. That's what I can say, because if you see all these rituals, they are not Islamic. They are punishable, right? Very severe punishments are there from the Islamic point of view. So why they been involved? Why they were not taking action? In other words, he's saying just keep quiet, just push it under the carpet.
Yeah. Can I give you my take on it? Because I think she reported it in March, and I think it got out of control. So here's what I think. I think a few men were sharing her, and the pandemic hit, and now access to women was less. You can't go out in Tilford and get women like the way they were getting them. Maybe they were, the traffic is down. So other men start sharing her, and other guys got mad, and feelings get involved, and now she's blowing the whistle. Now she's a whistleblower. She's tired of it.
Yeah, absolutely. There is no doubt about that. And she been passed around quite frequently.
Yeah.
And my main concern is she been abused when she was a child.
Right.
If
Right.
she's over 18 and she has a consent, to sleep with someone else, right? That's a different case. But when you commit such crimes with minors, those punishments are very severe in Western world,
Right.
particularly in the UK or anywhere else in Western countries. So if we see she was a minor, and it was happening right under the nose of Mirza Tahir.
Yeah, well,
Because
here's what Afaf Azhar told me. Afaf Azhar, because I've been talking to her on WhatsApp. She says she went to school with Tuba in Rabwa, so she knows the sisters. And she said Faiza was a little older, but she says that this girl was, I think she was born in the UK, because when the fourth Khalifa left, he
yep,
left with like a bunch of people.
No. Tuba wasn't born in UK.
No, not Tuba, this granddaughter.
all these
granddaughter.
granddaughters born in UK.
And then all this happened, and in our Desi people, if you get in trouble, sometimes they send you to Pakistan, right? Like, so I had a cousin who got sent to Pakistan because maybe she was too American when she was like 8, and then she went for like 3 years. So when she goes to Pakistan, maybe at age 8 or 5 or 4, it continued in Rabwa. That's rape central. You're gonna get
No, Shaji, I seen all children here very closely. Usman and and Nida and I can't recall There is another brother of her. So I have seen them. I used to work in MTA. They used to come around after school. So
Okay.
they got education here. They were born here. So there is no such thing that they went there. No, they've been living all their life here in the UK.
So
But
so how
there
come
is
she
a
never got
one
married?
point. This is one point. When Masroor took over, he basically asked Mirza Tahir's daughter to leave Fazal Mosque accommodation, right? So they've been pushed out. So after that, they moved elsewhere, and what happened, I don't know. They had, I think, a divorce case between Mia Lukman and Bibi Faiza. So yeah, that's the
Oh,
story I
they were
know so
divorced.
far.
That's right. Her
Yeah,
parents were divorced.
yeah.
So maybe that's why they treated her like tissue and passed her around because they were like, "Who's gonna listen? Her dad doesn't care."
Yeah,
She,
dad was in jail for 3 to 6 months, as far as I know,
yeah,
because
yeah,
he been accused to mess around with the French or Bosnian lady. I can't remember. I know that lady. I have seen that lady when I at that time when I used to work in MTA.
yeah. So her dad is a bad person. Her mom, did her mom remarry?
I think she got married to Goldsmith from Pakistan.
A
So
goldsmith?
that's, I am not sure whether they are still together or not. Uh, I mean, the rumors I'm hearing, they are separate again. She is living with her eldest son in Pakistan.
Oh,
So yeah,
oh, because
she got
Mirza
divorced
Tahir is not the
again.
Khalifa anymore. So since her dad's not the Khalifa anymore, she's probably getting the silent treatment. Or
Yeah. So that's the information I got. I don't know whether it is correct or incorrect. Yeah, that's what I can say so far. So
okay,
maybe
no
Dr.
worries.
Saab probably knows something more.
Yeah, Doctor Saab, what would you like to add?
Now, I just want to s- tell you about the authenticity of this recording. We have run the acoustic and some programs on this recording to check the authenticity. For Mirza Masroor, it is authentic voice of this chap, Masroor. There's very high positive result that this is Mirza Masroor himself, because we have got his multiple samples of his sound from MTA and elsewhere. The problem with the Neda sound is we don't have her sample of sound. So it's not possible to verify that it is the girl who is saying who she is. But the second outcome of the result, authenticity result, is there isn't much evidence that it's a cut and paste job, but you cannot exclude. The third thing is that if you hear the recording, it is an appropriate recording. You can hear a conversation which is in sequence within appropriate answers. On that grounds, I feel that I'm inclined to believe that this is the actual recording which has been leaked by one of the party. More likely, the girl has leaked it out as she threatened to the Mirza Masroor. The divorce of Lukman and Faiza happened only a few years ago. They were not divorced in the life of Mirza Tahir Ahmad. So they were together. And I don't know how they live. I haven't heard much about them, but even her father hasn't got a very great reputation. The Mirza family, like I always say, that Mirza family is not a good character family. You see, this girl, Neda, if we believe she is what she says she is, which I am more inclined to believe who she is, she is a granddaughter of one Khalifa from mother side, and she is a granddaughter of other Khalifa from mother side. And her great grandfather is a Khalifa as well. Actually, if you look at the position of these children of Luqman, they are in very peculiar situation. They have got a kind of good representation of this family. So you can deduce from their behavior scientifically that this is a continuous behavior of this family, which is true. The other thing, we asked an expert on behavior, a profile man, to look at this conversation and make a you see, once you hear the conversation and analyze it from a different point of view, you get very different information which people ignore. The first observation from that analysis is that Mirza Masroor is not a kind of person who is a pious person. For him to have get raped and that kind of behavior is not only normal, he just want to keep it on the safe box. He doesn't want to take it out as an objection. He will do everything to hide it, which is a perfect match. If you read one of the books Shafiq Mirza wrote, Sher Sadoom, there are few other books which are Rasputin of Rabwa, and these books have been written by the people outside their clan. One of the answer of Mirza Mahmud, who is the most famous rapist of all of them, who claims to have raped 500 women in his life, at least. Somebody asked him in this session of all these things, raping each other and having sex with their own children and daughters, that is it allowed? There is a famous answer by Mirza Mahmud. He said, yes, it's allowed, but you shouldn't tell it to the ordinary people. It's not for ordinary people, right? So that's the attitude of this family. I think what she says, the problem is this particular girl who is now making complaint. During the conversation, Mirza Masroor asked one very peculiar question. He says, if you are claiming that this is happening for many years, why wouldn't you report it earlier? The girl replies, she did try, but nobody would listen. Now she is fed up, and she says another peculiar thing. You can hold me and shoot in my head from the back. And she also says during conversation, I know you can get me killed as well. You can hire a hitman. She uses the word hitman.
Right.
Actually, from this, you can very safely deduce this is an admissible evidence in the court of law if it is said by the close member like Neda against Masroor that Masroor can very easily be involved in these kind of schemes. And he comes from a family who can be involved in these kind of scheme, because the person who is inviting him to do that means they have knowledge or they are aware of these kind of incidents. Another thing, more recently, ikhraj, eviction, expulsion letter for one of the person. Do you know the name of that person who was Amure Amma chap who is expelled?
Salimuddin.
Eh?
Salimuddin?
Slimuddin. One of the person on internet was showing that expulsion letter which was given by that Murabbi. I don't remember his name. A very famous chap, the young chap. These reasons, 4 reasons are written for his expulsion. The first reason is he orchestrated and paid money to the people who killed over 70 Qadianis in Lahore, in Model Town and Darul Zikr. That is a blame, if you consider that letter true. That's the blame which is leveled against Islamuddin by Telford, the headquarters of Qadianis.
Yeah.
If that letter is true, which am very surprised, because by writing that particular line, they are admitting that they have committed murders of the people. They can be held accountable right now, even in United Kingdom where they are. I am quite surprised that letter is circulating and the top one says that he has been involved in paying money and orchestrating these killings. And then it actually, number two, it says 10,000 visas were issued by Western countries, and he has been selling those visas, which belong to the people who died in that incident. He has been selling it to the other people.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at these two incidences, they are connected to each other. And there are multiple incidences of this kind. I mean, I can't say all the things which I can't prove. I mean, I can hardly, I just say that's why I have run the authenticity check on this one, this recording. And I wasn't even before running the authenticity check, I was quite sure that this is the sound of Masroor. We have heard it many times. You can hear it millions of times. There are thousands of recording of this person. Actually, that if a Qadiani look at these two incidences, which are from recent weeks, he can make one deduction that Qadiani headquarters is a terrorist organization.
Totally.
Involved in terrorism, involved in unethical thing, involved in prostitutions, rape, and all these kind of events, and there's nothing to stop them. That's very obvious from the conversation. Actually, the conversation to a naive person looked like a normal conversation, but it's not a normal conversation. It's a conversation between a victim who is fed up of her circumstances, either affected by her mother divorce, instability of family circumstances, her own family circumstances. I don't know what happened to her marriage or other things. And now she is up for a revenge. And the man who is responding to her revenge answers is no less than a don of a gang.
Right.
No, that's what the impression. It's not my view. I had some people who are expert in psychological profiles to look at that conversation. I sent it to them, and they called me back about 2 hours ago, and they said, "Well, it doesn't look like it's a saint who is making this conversation." His exact words were, "I would say that he is a well-established don of some clan." So I agree with that. I think that's a fair thing to say. And all those Qadianis who don't know, actually, they should look at this evidence and leave this cult as soon as possible, because it's nothing to do with the divinity.
Right. I totally agree. Mirza Masroor Ahmad should be arrested, and if he's guilty, the Pakistan government should take action and cancel the 99-year lease at Rabwa and shut down their operation as a
Absolutely.
fraudulent terrorist organization. The government of India should run a chapa model at Qadian, and et cetera, et cetera. All that's
It
all.
doesn't go down me. I think that, is it a fake letter? An organization who is more than 100 years old admits that they have been involved in the killing of their own people in bulk. That is very hard for me to take down.
Yeah, I've been saying for almost 7, 8 years on Twitter, and people have been shocked. But I always said it's an inside job. The Lahore shootings, there's no way. Why would any terrorist bother the M? There's no reason for any of that. So, but
And
yeah, these are gangsters.
look, I had a chance to look at one of the reports, which was a report even older than my age, that report is. This was an investigation done by Pakistanis. And I had a chance to read that report after many years. I mean, maybe after 20 years, once report was prepared, and it was a public under the uh, Disclosure Act, and it was, and I had a copy of it, and that was what happened in the Rabwa station in 1974. And the report, an independent report, says it was perpetrated by the Mirza Nasser, and the head, the man who was giving the instruction was Mirza Tahir, and he was physically present about 100 yards away from the station, just guiding everybody what to do.
Giving
So,
orders, yeah.
giving orders. Of course, he was not involved physically in person, but he was controlling the whole situation. And they had a pre-planned thing that they will either kill or injure the students of Nishtar Medical College. Because once they were passing by Rabwa station, they made slogans.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a long history. And I don't know, where does this love for all, hatred for none comes from? What is it?
It's all fake. I thought it was fake when I was a kid. I was
No,
like,
it is more than a fake. I think there is a person with a knife which is just dipped in blood, and blood is dripping from his knife, and he is holding on other hand the poster, love for all, hatred for none.
right, right. It just doesn't exist. It's just totally fake. I used to always think it was fake. I'd say there's no way that this is true, you know. And then I did the research, and come to find out, it was made in 1980 when the Khalifa was in Spain, and he was trying to get a temple built, in Spain. And he doesn't know Spain is the biggest exporter of pork in the world, I think. They don't have many top exports, but pork is like their top export. And they were neutral in World War II, uh, so anyhow, we also have Sagir Bhai with us.
Qadianis are unbelievable, honestly. I
Unbelievable,
did
out of
not
control.
expect this kind of attitude. You have got Chaudhry Saab. He has got the true views. Ask him.
Yeah, Sagir Bhai.
जी शाह साहब,
शुरू हो जाओ.
you want me to speak in Urdu?
I prefer in English, but whatever you feel like doing, brother.
Okay, the first of all, I am feeling very happy to join with you guys, and this is first time I'm listening you live. Uh, if you look at this video, this audio which we done like program today, it's shocking, and I want to speak in Urdu a little bit if you allow me.
Of course, of course.
Maybe some guys are listening in Urdu too. The thing is, मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि ये जो कल्ट है, देखें 3 4 5 लफ्ज उस निदा ने बोले, हमें दुख है उस सिस्टर के लिए, हमारे दिल में हमदर्दी भी है, इसलिए हमने वो आवाज दुनिया के सामने रखी है। 3 4 लफ्ज उसने बोले हैं। उसने मिर्जा साहब को कहा, मिर्जा मसरूर साहब को, कि आपने कंजर खाना खोला हुआ है, ये जो कसरे खिलाफत है, इट्स लाइक ए हीरा मंडी। And he did not say anything back, and he only said अच्छा, it mean कि अगर ये लफ्ज फर्स्ट टाइम मिर्जा मसरूर साहब सुनते किसी मिर्जा फैमिली की लेडी से, तो वो तो चीख पड़ता, वो कहता बेटी या जो भी उसको पुकारता, उसको कहता कि प्लीज आपने ये क्या बका दिया। So it's normal कि everybody in Mirza family know Kasre Khilafat is like a Hira Mandi. That's why he did not say anything. The other thing you can think about this, the wording, she called Mahmud Shah Khota, donkey. Mirza Masroor did not say anything. If these kind of words और इस तरह की गुफ्तगू अगर मिर्जा फैमिली में फर्स्ट टाइम होती, तो जैसे हम शाक में आए हैं सुन के, मिर्जा मसरूर साहब चीख पड़ते कि बेटी देखो, he is a respected member of our Jamaat. Why you're calling like this? and he said only, "Acha." And also she said about her dad, "My dad is barking like a dog on Twitter." Like this kind of conversation, ये इस किस्म की गुफ्तगू, थिंक करें, ये पहली दफा हुई है? नहीं, मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि एक उसने लफ्ज बोला कि योर कसरे खिलाफत इज लाइक ए रेड जोन, सो इट मीन ये जो लोग हैं, जो द लीडरशिप ऑफ अहमदिया कल्ट, दे मैनेज टू डू क्राइम्स in a very organized, you can say like a circle or something like that. क्योंकि ये पहली आइडियो है, और मुझे किसी दोस्त ने रिसेंटली ही टोल्ड मी कि ये फोन कॉल नहीं है, ये उसने कहा मैंने कुछ चेक किया है कुछ इसको लाइक टेक्निकली, ये फोन कॉल नहीं है, ये एक कमरे में ये दोनों सेम बैठे हैं, माइक निदा के क्लोज है, मिर्जा मसरूर से दूर है, तो ये फोन कॉल नहीं थी। लाइक he gave me some information like this. Anyway, मैं समझता हूं शाह साहब, कादियानी, आपने एक प्रोग्राम में, कल के प्रोग्राम में ये आज बताया था कि मिर्जा गुलाम कादियानी अफीहून खाता था, शराब पीता था, उसके साथ रहने वाले जानी थे और वो इस तरह के शराबी थे। तो आपने बयान किया कि मिर्जा की फैमिली में nobody know about this one, लेकिन आफ्टर 15 ईयर व्हेन सीरतुल महदी ये पब्लिश हुआ, फिर जाके लोगों को पता चला। लोगों को पता नहीं है कि कसरे खिलाफत, जब उसने लफ्ज कंजर इस्तेमाल किया, तो आप लोगों को इस पे गौर करना चाहिए। उसने कहा ये कंजर खाना खोला हुआ, इसका मतलब है मिर्जा फैमिलीज, ऑल द मेंबर्स दे नो, all the Malangnis, like I am talking about the Ahmadi, they don't know. But every single member of Mirza family and the Ahmadiyya cult members, like I mean leadership, everybody know the Kasre Khilafat, the mansion where the Khalifa is living, is like Hira Mandi. And because they have hundreds of वो जो सियालकोटी नौकर हैं खड़े हैं, they have like उनके पास पैसा है, नौकर है, सिक्योरिटी है, तो वो क्राइम कर रहे हैं, रेप कर रहे हैं, करप्शन कर रहे हैं, जिना कर रहे हैं, कत्ल कर रहे हैं। जैसे वो हमारे वो भट्ट साहब ने एक प्रोग्राम में बोला था कि रबवा का जो कसरे खिलाफत है, जिस दिन वो ओपन हुआ उसकी ग्राउंड, वहां से इंसानी हड्डियां मिलेंगी, लाशें नीचे से। वहां पे क्या क्या होता है, just look at this point, like the Neda, ये तो बेटी है मिर्जा नासिर की, लुकमान की, इनकी अपनी बेटी, इन्होंने उसका फ्रॉम लाइक शी इज सेइंग कि ये जो रेप था फ्रॉम 1 ईयर से शुरू हो गया था, एंड व्हेन शी वाज लाइक 8 year old, in every week, twice a week or three times a week, she is saying in this video, and this continue 36 years. If this kind of bullshit is like continue, is like nobody is stopping over there. And she said, उसने उसका नाम लिया मुबशर का, अंकल मुबशर का, फिर उसने नाम लिया इसके वो जो I mean इसका जो ब्रदर इन लॉ है उसका, फिर उसने एक दो बंदे और का नाम लिया, फिर उसने ये भी बोला कि फलां मुझे ले गया, मेरे साथ रेप करने लगा, उसको एडिक्शन ना हुआ, मैंने दौड़ लगा दी। if these kind of bad things are happening with Mirza family daughters, आम आमदी के साथ क्या हो रहा होगा जो अंदर जाता है? It's shocking.
Very shocking. And I think they just moved into the to Tilford. Didn't the Khalifa just move there like 3 years ago?
I didn't understand your question, brother.
Yes, yes, they have exclusive access to that area, and they have airport style security.
Yeah,
Someone's mic is on, so I can't, hear it.
yeah, hold on. Let me mute that, Brother
Okay.
Samir's mic.
Yes, they have all their horses there. They have their servants there. They have accommodation for their followers. I mean, the selective followers. You know what I mean? Selective followers, right? So they have exclusive access. Nobody can get there. And I tell you, quite recently, I came across one very interesting information. Whoever is doing a voluntary duty there, they are not entitled to keep their private phones with them. So they have to leave the phones with, officials there, even their own personal bodyguards. They cannot.
Yeah. So hold that thought, Brother Boz Ahmed, are you there? Isn't there an underground bunker, and is that where they're doing their business?
Assalamu alaikum. What you mean at the
in Tilford?
Yeah, I think we discussed this before. Normally when a building is designed, any building. So for argument's sake, if you wanted to know about any building in the UK, you could simply go onto the council's website and you can see the planning applications. You can see the plans for that building and the architect's name, what have you. For this building that they made, where they just moved into, there isn't really any. You can't find out who the. I've tried to find out who the architect was. We can't find out. There's no information. There's no plans. There's no information. So, and I think we spoke to somebody before, and they said that the way this building is built more like a bunker, because as you know, the Ahmadiyya Jamaat is paranoid about this World War III. Every few years, they rile people up. There's going to be a world war. Stock up, and people do this. Yeah, their followers do this because they're sheep. And apparently, this building that's been built, this Ibadatgah or whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to call it a masjid, but
a temple.
Yeah, whatever it is. Well, whatever Kanjur Khana goes on there, you don't know. Yeah, okay, but there is definitely. I mean, somebody has mentioned that there's a underground bunker that they built at this place. Wallahu alam, we don't know. Like I said, we've tried to get some information about this building. There's no information available. So there may be. But this news here, this girl Neda, if it is her, we don't know. It's definitely whatever's happened, and if this is the girl, if somebody can verify that this is Mirza Tahir's granddaughter, and she did have a conversation with Masroor, then really Masroor himself is implicit in the rape, because what he should be saying to her is, look, if you want to take this forward, I'm going to help you. Whereas he's saying basically, look, let's forget about this and let's start again. Yeah. And the other thing, as far as us Muslims are concerned, from our point of view, he keeps quoting the Prophet ﷺ and the Hadith. Yeah. Now she keeps countering him, and he can't reply to her. Yeah. So I think your mic is muted, brother.
Yeah, I just want you to, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, as they do, they twist and turn. You know, he brings hadith, and then she basically counters him, and also tells him several times, "You better fix your website because you're misleading people." And he's basically Mirza Masroor Ahmad. You know, he can't reply to the girl. So you know, they say wherever there's smoke, there's fire, and there's definitely smoke here. And there's definitely going to be fire, and there's going to be there's going to be ramifications for this, about this leaked video, audio, sorry, and we'll know soon enough. But what's really shocking, I don't know, this girl Neda is based in the UK, I assume, obviously because they lived in the UK, they arrived in the UK. She was probably born in the UK, maybe, or maybe was very, very young when she arrived here. Now, what's really shocking, and it's really shocking, is how this can happen in this country, you know, and it be ongoing for, you know, so many years. Excuse me. That's the real shocking part about this fiasco, you know, this whole scenario, that this could be happening to this girl in the UK under our noses, and you know, she feels that she's basically, she can't do nothing about it. You know, I mean, look at the year we're living in, 2021. We're coming up to 2022. This isn't the 40s or the 50s or the 1800s,
Right?
You know, and this is the UK, brother. You know, so you know, and this is one of the reasons why we call Ahmadiyya a cult, because it is a cult. This is what happens in a cult. People are trapped. People have nowhere to go. People can't basically voice their opinions. They can't, you know, they can't tell the truth. So unfortunately, you know, I feel really sorry for this young lady, and I think she's very brave. If, you know, like I said, if the audio is hers, and it is her, and I'm 90% sure that this audio isn't edited. Yeah. And I'm 101% sure that it's Masroor.
I can confirm this lady voice is true, I mean authentic. My sister spoke to her multiple occasions. She recognized her voice straight away. The people around the mosque area, the Fazal Mosque area, they can recognize her voice quite clearly. So Masroor's voice is very recognizable. Her voice is also recognizable. If you do a search on Bibi Faiza's video or audio, you can notice both mother and daughter have a similar voice.
And you know, I'm not doubting that either, because obviously there, Brother Ali, there will be people who know. I mean, if you know somebody personally and you speak to them every day on a daily basis, or you've heard them, you know, then you'll recognize the voice instantly. You know, it's not rocket science. I mean, I don't know Masroor personally, but so many years now we've been listening to his khutbahs and his speeches and his cock-ups. You know, I can recognize his voice, you know, and there's giveaways, you know, in the language. So no doubt it is the girl, but obviously, you know, that there's going to be people out there that are still, you know, maybe 50-50, but this will come out because there will be people out there who know the girl personally. And obviously this audio is leaked out. Either the girl recorded the audio or somebody else has recorded the audio, but the audio has come from that household. So it's come from within, and it may have been leaked purposely, brother.
True. And so why would they create a red light district in Tilford during the pandemic, during the height of the pandemic? Is that because they were, you know, majboor? I can't think of an English word equivalent.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the thing is, in all honesty, it's about time that this cult was called out for what it is, which is it is a cult holding people within it. Now, you know, one of these days, you know, I mean, this is from their own family. What's happened here is it's come out from their own family. So, you know, if this is going to go to the police, and then obviously it's been reported, and you know, even though she may not have any evidence, but cases like this where children have been abused is taken very seriously at the moment. You know,
Right.
we've got so many child abuse cases going on at the moment. This is taken really, really seriously. So they won't dismiss it.
Right. All right.
You know.
So let me ask you a question. The British held on to Hong Kong 50 years. They've still held on to Canada, South Africa, Belize in a weird way, Australia. It's all very strange. Is this the straw that'll break the Gada's back? Is this what it's going to take for the British to say, okay, no more for you guys?
Well, you know, it will happen. Whether it's, I don't think it will be this here, because it will happen. What needs to happen is somebody needs to take this one of these cases further, yeah. And basically, when the hierarchy is implicated, I mean, the thing with this case is that if this is a conversation between this girl, a member of the Mirza household, and one of her uncles, who's also the Khalifa of that group, yeah, she's talking directly to the horse, and the words are coming out from the horse's mouth, yeah. So this is quite an unusual. You're not going to get a case like this again, because, you know, once bitten, twice shy. They're going to be very, very careful who Mirza Masroor speaks to. And as you know, Mirza Masroor is not the sharpest knife in the rack, you know, as to say. So you're not going to get an opportunity like this. Now, if this case went to court, he would have to come to court. Now, if he came to court and this came out in the papers, well, you know, Ahmadiyya prides itself on its PR. And this would be the biggest. Do you remember a couple of years, you remember during the pandemic, when people said, oh, Masroor's got the coronavirus, and people were saying, we hope he dies, and this, that, and the other. There was a brother who said, no, I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps him alive for another 20, 30 years, because in the 16 years that he's been Khalifa, the amount of damage that he's done to the Jamaat, none of the others did. Yeah, so don't pray for his death. Pray that he lives another 40 years and remains a Khalifa. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean,
well, hey,
the implications here could be very, very serious, but it just depends on how far this young lady wants to take it.
Right.
You know, it's one of those things, really. If it goes to court, there's no doubt that Masroor will have to attend.
Right. Now, does Tilford or Surrey have an online database that we can check cases? Because I know in America, in Texas, there's that sexual rape case that I can check online the status of that case.
No, no, you can't. You can't do anything at the moment, because once a complaint is filed, then the police basically carry out an investigation. Based on that investigation, the Crown Prosecution Services then decides whether this case goes forward to prosecution. Okay, so at the moment, we might be just in the stages where either it's been reported or she's thinking about reporting it, but it has to be reported to the police. The police then have to be given time to investigate. Based on that investigation will go to the Crown Prosecution Service. Then the Crown Prosecution Service will decide whether the Crown can prosecute. Yeah, is there enough evidence for this to go any further, rather than wasting taxpayers' money? You know, it might not amount to anything. And if they think that there is a chance that somebody will be prosecuted, and obviously the girl's testimony is believed, yeah, they may decide, yes, it needs to go to a Crown Court. So there's two types of courts here. There's a magistrate's court and there's a Crown Court. Obviously, Crown Court cases are severe, 99%, they're punishable with a custodial sentence. So this is, these are the stages that they have to go through. It's only when the case is heard in court that we can then go into the records and find out what stage it's at. But up to when it's reported to the CPS and it goes to the Crown Court or the Magistrates Court, there isn't anywhere to check because it's with the police at that time. Okay.
I would like to say some points here. Number one, there is no issue with the authenticity of the voice regarding with Neda, right? There is no question about it. You know why? Because the question she is asking and the conversation she is having with Masroor, he is replying appropriately. Like, for example, she says, Baba done this and that, why you didn't punish? And Masroor give a reply. And again, she says, that was my secret, why you spoke to your wife? It means they had a previous conversation on these topics a couple of times. If she wasn't a legitimate person, Masroor would say, sorry, I don't recognize you. Who are you? So there is a series of questions raised from her and Masroor replied. And if you see, he didn't deny that she's not a legitimate person. No. All his responses, they confirm he is talking to the right person, he is giving the appropriate answer, and she shared the secret with him, and he shouldn't be sharing with his wife, but he did. And he didn't took any action against those people. She provided evidences to Masroor expecting that he will be taking some action. And another thing she mentioned, oh, Usman said to you, you should look after me. Usman, basically her elder brother. So if she wasn't a legitimate lady, why Masroor will take account of all these points raised by her? No, obviously not. That conversation shouldn't last more than 45 minutes or something like that. It should have finished within 2 minutes, maybe less than that. And I believe that conversation happened over Zoom, because if you listen carefully, she says we can have a meeting on Zoom and you can bring your witnesses, I can bring my witnesses. So she might be in the UK or somewhere else under protection of police.
Isn't she at the Qasr Khalifa? I mean, I don't think she
No.
has a job.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. She might be at some.
Ali Bhai, there's no doubt that the conversation between the lady and Masroor is a conversation between those two people. There's no doubt about that. There's no question about these two people are having a conversation, and it's a two-way dialogue. She's asking a question, he's replying, or he's replying, and she's basically talking to him. So the conversation is definitely happening. This is not an edited conversation. I've listened to it 2 or 3 times. The only thing, the reason why I keep saying, I've said a couple of times, if it's her, because obviously I don't know personally, I've never heard the lady before, but the people who have heard, and we'll find out in the next couple of days, I mean, people like myself, I mean, I know a few people who've probably talked to this girl before, and I'll probably speak to them tomorrow. I tried to get hold of one person that I think I know have spoken to this girl before, so they would know her voice. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a hold of that person. But yeah, the conversation between this lady and Masroor is definitely happening, and it's happening between these two people, and they're talking to each other. So there's no way that anybody can deny that this conversation is edited or any of that rubbish. There's no way. You know, that's not going to happen.
So hold that thought.
Yeah.
I have a question for the Dr. Saab, and we're coming up on an hour, so we got to wrap up. But Dr. Saab, should Mirza Masroor Ahmad be arrested the way Warren Jeffs, who was a Mormon, who was practicing polygamy, which is his religion, should the same thing happen to Mirza Masroor Ahmad?
No, you mean on the Lahore incident or on this conversation?
I'm in this rape case, and then as if the police raid the Qasr Khilafat, a lot's gonna come out. So and Warren Jeffs, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He's the Mormon, the splinter sect. Like
no, I know about the Mormons and I know about that incident, but it's very hard to compare that particular incident with what's happening with this cult. I'll tell you something. In Pakistan, before he left, he had a number of rape cases against him. He denies it. He said he tried to wash off the name of Chanab Nagar from the board next to the bus stop, and he got arrested. That might be one of the reasons, but this man has got multiple rape investigations against him. And if he would have stayed in Pakistan, he would be implicated in all those cases. So he hasn't got a very good history. The fact of the matter is, this man has got now. You know, he has got a schizophrenic personality. This Mirza Masroor. Do you know that? I have met him in person a few times.
I believe it.
Yeah, when he is alone and he is not in public, he is very authoritative. He is very rude. I don't know why he is rude. Maybe personality disorder. He comes across very rude. If you look at his posture, the way he stands, it's not a normal posture. He tilt on one side or the other. And if you hear him out in the conversation with this girl, Neda, you will see that you will get an impression that he is very awake and he's responding, right? He has got a good control on himself. He hasn't shouted back where Neda has shouted on him few times during the conversation. So he is very calculated man outside, but in public when he comes, his system shuts down. That's why that's the personality we call the schizophrenic personality, double personality he has got. So as far as the Lahore case is concerned, if that latter is true, the man should be in a deep trouble. He should be, wherever he is, he should be in a very deep trouble. But I'm not sure whether that letter with what's the name of that Murabbi, you know, very famous, Munir?
Amr Munir?
Amr Munir, yeah, he gave that particular letter to somebody.
Yeah.
And that is on one of the websites of this, you know, Mufti Mubashir's website. He showed it there. And one of them said that it is very authenticated. That's why I'm very surprised, because putting those kind of allegations mean saying that they are taking the responsibility of this extremely terrorist kind of behavior, and they can't get away with it. That's on that letter. As far as the allegations of Neda is concerned, my impression is the same as everyone, that his conversation shows what Neda is saying is not unusual for Mirza Masroor. He is quite used to that situation. Actually, he has told Neda a few times during the conversation, shut it down, forget about it, let's start from the scratch and I'll be with you. Right?
Right. And let's not forget, Masroor also has the asylum scandal going on. So he's got the asylum scandal going, that some independent news reporter on Twitter just wrote an essay about it. So he's got that going on. Now he's got this going on, and he's possibly got some other things going on with Salimuddin and the Lahore attacks. So there's a lot going on.
Now, the thing is, as Brother Baz Ahmed said, people should pray for his life rather than him dying soon, because the guy is doing a very good job of destroying this cult. No one, actually, I've said many times whenever I talk, I say that the amount of damage Mirza Masroor has done to this cult no one could do it ever.
Ever.
All the Khalifas were very mindful of, I'll tell you, maybe, have you ever met Mirza Tahir in person? You must have.
Yeah, in like 94, he came to California.
Yeah. I mean, you must have met him because he was very keen to meet the crowd of his population, right?
His financiers.
Yes. If you go and meet him, he will stand for you. He will shake hand with you. Like politicians, he will smile. And when you leave Mirza Tahir, you will think, oh, that man really likes me. As opposed to that, if you go and meet Mirza Masroor, you know what the politicians do once you shake hand with them? They will push you a little bit away. Have you ever noticed this?
Right.
No, this is the trick taught to the VIPs, that if you really don't know or don't like the person, you shake hand as they are, but push him back a little bit. That's a very insulting kind of gesture. Somebody did once to me, and he was the minister of the state, and I told him on his face in the crowd, don't ever push my hand again. And he was surprised why I shouted at him, because he does exactly the same with everyone who shakes his hand. And secondly, he has got no empathy. When you go and meet Mirza Masroor, you come out with an impression, what a bastard.
Yeah, so I met him in 2013 in Los Angeles, and he asked me if I was East African.
What?
Like, what? I was like, because I think the way I speak Punjabi and Urdu mix and everything mixed, the Desi people in East Africa, maybe that's how they speak English. I don't know, but I was baffled at him saying.
No, he can speak English.
Yeah, he can speak English, but he asked me if I was East African.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
no, I'll tell you something. Look, you should look at his background. He spent 20 years in East Africa.
In West Africa, I don't think.
In West Africa or some African country, doing
in Ghana,
funny things there. Now, one thing Jamaat will not tell you, wherever he stayed, the number of Qadianis decreased. No, the man is very special. The man is truly special. You need only 10 to 20 years reign of Masroor, then we will have only 50 people in this cult and we'll be home and dry. Right? He is not going to change himself. The man has got no appeal whatsoever.
Right. He's got a daft personality. He's dead on the inside, dead on the outside.
Yes. Oh, he is I don't wish for him to die soon. Honestly, people have been telling me what he's suffering from. I can't say on the media, but he's not a well man, unfortunately. And he has got a GP, which I hear his name is, what's his name? He's the guy. His GP has got an unusual reputation. His name is Mubashir Hassan or Hussain something. He should have been retired, but I hear he hasn't retired yet. He actually trained as a cardiac surgeon, but couldn't get the hospital job as a cardiac surgeon. And he's the man who knows all about it, I guess. Shabir is his name, I think. Now I remember his name is Shabir. And he is near the Baitul Futuh Mosque, near Morden in London. He is not near Telford. Maybe he has changed his GP now. But if my wish has to go to Masroor, if he is listening to me, my dear, I want you to live long enough to destroy this Jamaat completely.
Sounds good. So, Brother Sagir's has been quiet for a little bit. Let's go back to him, and then we'll wrap up. Brother Azhar Sheikh is here too. So, Brother Sagir, what do you have to add?
Jazakallah Shah Sahab, I just want to say something. Like मेरा जो main point है in this audio, लोगों को या जो हमारे listeners हैं उनको ये ख्याल रखना चाहिए, इस बात पे ये सोचें लोग, क्या जो मैंने पहले भी थोड़ा सा बयान किया कि लोग मिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर चंदा देते हैं। क्यों? आम कादियानी ही थिंक कि मिर्जा फैमिली इज होली फैमिली, लेकिन जो जिस तरह की गुफ्तगू शाह साहब, आई एम सॉरी, आई एम इन रेस्टोरेंट, दैट्स व्हाई देयर इज अ लिटिल बिट म्यूजिक बिहाइंड.
It's okay,
Sorry, I'm in
brother.
a restaurant, but anyway, I am on the corner, so I can speak a little bit. Anyway, so लोग इसको चंदा देते हैं कि मिर्जा फैमिली इज होली फैमिली, दे हैव कनेक्शन विद गॉड. फॉर एग्जांपल, look at this point. When you listen this audio, जो निदा है वो लीडरशिप जो है इनकी नाजर को डंकी कह रही है, डो कह रही है, और कसरे खिलाफत, जिसको ये कसरे खिलाफत खलीफा का रहने का महल, उसको वो कंजर खाना कह रही है। फिर वो इनको बदमाश कह रही है। फिर वो मिर्जे को कहती है झूठ ना बोलो, कसम खाओ आपने इन्वेस्टिगेशन किया। और एक और बात, फिर वो मिर्जे को कहती है कि आप तो कहते थे मैं आपका बाप हूं, तो आप बाप हैं, मेरी हेल्प करें। तो मिर्जा मसरूर साहब क्या उसको कह रहे हैं, मिर्जा साहब कह रहे हैं आपने जना के लिए फलां शख्स के पास खुद पेश किया उसको, और आपने मुझे बताया कि वो जना नहीं कर सका क्योंकि उसको अरिक्शन नहीं हुआ। मेरा ये बात करने का दोबारा मकसद ये है शाह साहब, ये लोग इस फैमिली को होली समझते हैं, लेकिन क्या बाप जिसकी 70 साल एज हो, खलीफा, बच्चियों के साथ इस तरह बात करता है? अगर कोई इस तरह बात करे, क्या वो होली फैमिली है कि कंजर फैमिली है? मिलियंस डॉलर पे करने के बाद इन लोगों ने इस फैमिली को, जिसको होली फैमिली समझते थे, इनको ये मिला है। कसरे खिलाफत के अंदर जो लूटे हुए चंदे से बना है कसरे खिलाफत, उसके अंदर मिर्जा साहब अपनी फैमिली की बेटियों को ये पूछ रहे हैं कि वो रेप नहीं आपके साथ कर सका, आपने कहा था वो रिक्शन नहीं हुआ। अगर इस तरह की गुफ्तगू उनके घरों में चल रही है, then why these people are paying chanda? Why? What they're getting back? ये जो कंजर फैमिली इस तरह आपस में ऐसे बोलते हैं, ये इन आम को क्या देंगे, आम कादियानी को क्या देंगे? तो ये अच्छा, दूसरी एक बात मैं करके मैं जाते जाऊंगा। आई नो यू टोल्ड लाइक द प्रोग्राम इज शुड बी अराउंड 1 आवर। दूसरी बात कि एक तो ये बात हो गई कि ये फैमिली इस तरह की है, ठीक है ना, और अगर ये पहली दफा गुफ्तगू होती, इस बात पे गौर करें, अगर खलीफा और मिर्जा फैमिली की किसी लड़की के दरमियान पहली दफा, ये फर्स्ट टाइम दिस काइंड ऑफ गुफ्तगू होती, तो खलीफा उसको रोकता, कहता बेटी आप तो इतने बैड वर्ड यूज कर रही हो। उसने रोका ही नहीं। इसका मतलब है मिर्जा फैमिली में these kind of words, these are kind of conversation is regular. This is shocking. If this kind of stuff is like regular, they are practicing in their houses, look at their character then. I don't know why these malanganis are not listening us. I don't know. Anyway, thanks, brother.
Thank you so much for your input, brother. I always appreciate you. And you're right. What is wrong with these people now that reality has come out? So, brother Boz Ahmed, will come to you right after brother Azhar Sheikh, and then brother Ali, you'll have the last word. So, brother Azhar Sheikh, are you there?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to everybody.
Wa alaikum salam.
It was very shocking when I heard in the morning when I woke up at 6 o'clock and it was on my screen, and I replayed about 3 or 4 times, And then I gave it to my son, and I said that, can you tell me, because he's artificial intelligence, so I said that see if it is fake or it is. He said it's 101% true copy, the whole thing. There's nothing been changed, no, nor the whoever distributed this video, whoever disclosed this, has any kind of changes in there, that editing or something. The question is, कादियानियत का जनाजा है जरा शौक से निकले अब. Now, I don't think we have to forget this. Forget this for today, that today we had done 2 streams and then we'll do something else. We have to wake up. We have to wake up these Qadianis, the innocent Qadianis, especially those they don't even know. Even if we have to do the stream in Punjabi or English or Urdu, we must do this stream in 3 languages. Those they don't understand Urdu or English, especially the Sialkot, Gujranwala and Hafsabad people, we have to do that in Punjabi also. So they must understand. They must listen to this. We have to spread this now. This is the time when we can nail them out, the last nail in their coffin. This is really not. See, when she said that I don't trust you, I mean, it was shocking. She's talking to Khalifa, and she said that you're lying, and this is your problem. You're lying. You're under influence of somebody else. You're afraid of breaking your house. All that. It was totally shocking for me. I tried to enter today's stream in what is that, Aka Ka Ghulam, but there were too many people, and whenever I came, I've been kicked out because of too many people in there. And of course, everybody. I heard the whole stream, and I also retweeted some tweets, but Chaudhry Saab, Dr. Saab, Ali Bhai, and everybody who's listening, it's really a chance for us. It's not, I mean, I don't say a chance. It's really now our responsibility to spread this to those they don't know their innocence, and they don't know what their Khalifa is doing. And the way Khalifa is talking to that girl Neda, it was amazing. It was amazing. Like, he is under influence. He is really under influence, and he was afraid of Neda. And when the last word, when somebody hits somebody, and when they hit too much, the person who's getting beaten, he always says, okay, do it. How much you can do it? So this is what Khalifa said. Okay, the people will forget. I assure them, nobody will forget this. Nobody will forget this, and we will not forget anybody. This is our promise. And I already have found the Surrey County Police Department, and I'm gonna write a petition to the police also. I will write the petition. I will send this video link to them and ask them to translate it and see what's going on. This is a state within the state. This is law within the law. This is the court within the court. This is what I'm planning to do, and hopefully I'll do it. Thank you for giving me time, brother.
Sounds good, brother. And we appreciate you. We appreciate anyone who's willing to help in any possible way. Where we're looking to network with as many brothers and sisters as possible. Okay, Brother Bazam, the final word, and then we'll come to Brother Ali for the final word.
Yeah, look, brother, I think the best thing that can happen is that this audio needs to be shared, and it needs to be shared many times. It needs to be brought to the forefront. It needs to be on Twitter. It needs to be on all the social media platforms. And, you know, it needs to be out there. You know, like when they used to get one incident that happens in Pakistan and they spread it all over the world. You know, this is the time for this needs to go everywhere, basically, yeah. And inshallah, you know, something will come of it, and hopefully, you know, once this comes out, you see, one small thing can lead to something big, and if it does lead to something big, and this goes into the newspapers in the UK, the Qadiani Jamaat, I think the government that's protecting this Jamaat will just wash their hands and say, that's it, we've had enough, we can't do any more now. Yeah. And then these people will start to realize that the protection that they're under is now finished. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. If you know anyone in the newspapers who could, you know, help
I
us
want
out
to add
here.
something if I'm allowed.
Sure, of course.
Okay. One thing, brother, you have to understand. When he said that go ahead and spread this, whatever, people will forget in 2 or 3 days or 2 or 3 months, and she said that people are not going to forget this anymore. The word she said, I was shocked that she said that Ahmadi, General Ahmadi is talking about you now. Ahmadi is talking about you now. And this is a very scary statement. Very scary statement for Mirza Masroor, because when it goes to Ahmadi, already they are sick and tired of paying chandas and all that stuff. When this will go to the Ahmadi, the Ahmadi will not spare him. I don't believe it. I don't believe that they're going to spare him. Thank you for giving me some more time.
Sounds good. And we have someone new here, and Brother Ali, I'll come to you right next. Brother, I think it's Muhammad Hijaz. You have 2 minutes, brother. You have the floor.
Assalamu alaikum. Bashir bhai, how you doing? You right?
Walaikum salam. How's it going?
No, good, yeah. You know, I talked earlier in the Ziabai show, and I just wanted to ask you, like, is it okay if we can mention the name of the lady, or is it just the anonymous call to the police or the email? Because I'm not really sure how to report it. I was checking since then, and I've checked some sites, and they say they have one quite famous. They're called Crime Stoppers, and you can like report it anonymously. And there are some other sites that even in the government side, they say if you want to report on the behalf of someone, you can report it straight away. But I just wanted to ask you, like, you might know some legalities of it, because I don't know much about it. Because if I report on behalf of the lady, and they will go to the lady, basically. First, they will go to the lady, take the statements. I just wanted to make sure, like, if we report, we will report. I'm not saying we're not going to report, but it's up to her, like, if she going to stand on her words, like, if she just says at the end, like, oh, we made a mistake or something, we had an argument in the family, and now I'm not standing by my words, and then they will get away with it. So that's what a little bit worrying point at the moment. So I was just wanted to ask you, like, is there anything like, if she can do some kind of like testimony or some kind of thing?
Yeah, at this point, we don't know, but I'm gonna let Brother Ali answer that, and then I'm gonna let him. He's gonna give the final word, and then we're done with the stream. So, Brother Ali, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Shah Sahab. There are a couple of points I really want to highlight. You asked, I think Brother Ijaz asked, what is the name of the lady and what names were mentioned in that audio. Let me make it very clear, whoever want to take action on this audio and whoever want to report this to police, they can do that. The first name was mentioned, Amir, where she wanted to have some intercourse and he couldn't get erected. And Masroor said, you try to present yourself somehow, God forbid, it didn't happen, she said, and she ran away from that place where that rape was about to happen. And she said that was luckily it didn't happen. So it means, my understanding is that there were many different occasions that might happen many times. There was the one person, and that person name was Amir, mentioned in that audio. Now, the second person name is Mahmoud Shah. He is brother-in-law of Mirza Masroor, and he was also harassing her. Probably he also raped her. I mean, I'm using word carefully, probably, right? Because the final statement should come from Neda. Her name is Mirza Neda, and I don't know whether she used a second name or not. That's my understanding. And
Yep.
she provided all evidences to Masroor, email conversation, WhatsApp conversation to Masroor. And another point I would like to highlight here, she didn't shout it at Masroor. Somebody in our panel said she shouted. No, she pleaded, she appealed to Masroor. You must take action. That's not shouting. It means somebody been hurt so badly and they trusted him, tremendously on that person, that person is not going to betray them. And she used the word, Mr. Holiness, you lost my trust. That you told my secret to your wife and you told my secret to other people. So you have no trust in my eyes. She pleaded her case and she appealed to him, and he tried to ensure her that I have my own way of doing the investigation. Now, here is another question. Why he has his own way of investigation while we have a country of law here? And we have a
Yeah.
police here, we have a system here which can prosecute, which can punish those people who are the main culprit. So he should help her, listen her. Here we find Masroor is protecting those culprit who are basically been exploiting that girl or woman for a long time. That's not just only one event. She been exploited many times, mishandled so many times. So when she made a case against those people, he didn't take action. And he been advising her, just brush that event under the carpet and forget it. They might have asked forgiveness from Allah. No, you should protect your community members. Doesn't matter whether they are a family member, whether they are somebody else. Being a head of the community is your responsibility to protect each and every one. It's not about your household people. It's everyone. Third thing, somebody said Crown prosecutor need evidences to prosecute. I disagree with that, because when the minor child is abused since a long time, there are no evidences. So you have to take a statement of that, a child who been abused when that child was minor. So that is not a right argument here, because we are dealing with a history of abuse here. So we can't just say, oh, there is not sufficient evidence, we cannot proceed with that. Unfortunately, no, you are supporting those people who committed the crime. So we expect Masroor should cooperate with authorities, and he himself should report and bring those people in the court and present it to the law. So instead of giving a protection and protecting all these culprit, God knows how many people been a victim during that time. So I ask authorities, I ask UK government, please do investigate. You might find more stories. There are many people who've been exploited and abused by these people. So this is not just one event. I highly stress on the importance of this audio. So that's my final word or request to anybody who is involved with this investigation or whoever been abused by these culprits. Please come forward, save other people's life. Do not be hesitant. You can have complete protection of law. Law protect you and encourage you to come forward and report those people. Please save your children, save your community members. They might be abusing other people in the future. So if you don't come forward, it means you are helping those culprits. Thank you very much, Shah Sahab.
Sounds good, brother. And with that, we are done. Assalamu alaikum and peace out.
Thank you.